Good morning, students. So this could be the second session for us. So to recap with the previous sessions, that what we have discussed, that has been narrated as a complete a revision of through MCQ. So I need your answers in the chat. Please post it. What does DTD stand for? Either A or B or C or D. What could be your option? Please post it in the chat. So let me see the chat. So I'm getting options as B. So that could be the answer. So what does DTD stand for? Document type definition. Yes, I think this could be the one which will talk about the basics of DTD. Have you understood it? It could be an indirect question for you to assess have you learned it correctly. DTD includes the specifications about the markup that can be used within the document. Specification consists of all except. So what could be the answer? A or B or C or D? Type it in your chat. An interesting question it is that will judge how you have learned DTD, how you have understood DTD, how you have grasped DTD. That could be learned from here. Options, please. So option A, two members have responded for this. Option A. So the answer is option A only, exactly. Because the rest of the things that we will use it in the DTD syntax while we are going to declare. So DTD syntax is available with that we will mention the root name along with that subchild's name, and we will specifically mention each and individual node with their corresponding data type PC data. So every node will be prefixed with the tag element with an exclamation mark. So ultimately browser name will not that we will not mention. Ultimate idea of this one is they are completely language independent. That's the point that they want to stress through XML. Third question. So well formed. What is this well formed? Which code will talk about a well formed XML program? We have come across some 12 rules. Among the 12 rules, which one will satisfy for this? First element, second element. First element tag was nested for second element in option A. In option B, everything is in order. In option C, I could able to find some intersection between first element and second element. In option D, the tag was not closed properly. So your answers could be yes. I'm getting answer only from Salona Kumar. 45 members are there in the classroom. Rest of you respond. That will mention your revision, right? So ultimately option will be B only because A, you have a nested context. The tags are being nested that you could able to understand. First element, second element is available within first element. So it is not permissible under WFF. Option C, you could able to see that second element and first element are intersected. Option D, the tag was not opened properly for second element. So ultimately A, C, D will respond in the bad sense. So ultimately option B will be validated correctly. So that's the answer. Okay, it's option B. Question number 4. How can we make attributes have multiple values? attributes have multiple values. That means can I able to give, even in terms of HTML you can think and convey. Can I able to give background colors, 2 colors? Can I able to give font type, 2 types? Font, angle bracket, font, space, type equal to, or face equal to Arial comma times New Roman. Can I able to give like that? Or font size equal to 12 comma 14. Can I able to give like that? That is the question that they have raised in terms of attributes. What could be the best option for 4? Very good. So option has been written as D. So what's the answer? D. Ultimately, I could not able to give 2 values for my attributes, right? In all markup languages, it is not possible for us, right? So if I need to give, but XML as an option that they could able to provide through complex data type in XSD. Remember that complex data type in SSD, XSD. That's what we have seen in the last session. So by that I could able to give in terms of array of values that we will see in the programs. Yes, the use of DTD in XML development is so what could be the option? Yes. Most of them have to start typing A because option B is going to talk about something on editor context. So it is not necessary here because XML programs are going to execute in browser itself. Option C, they have a direct connection using XSLT processor. Still we have not come across that. Moreover, XSLT will talk about style sheet transformation, okay, like your CSS. So you don't have any role on that. A good guide to populating templates to be filled in and generating an XML document automatically, right? So for this we have some other technology in XML. DTD don't have role on that. DTD will convey the type of data that what we are going to use, type of value that what we are going to use within the tag. Okay, so that's the only thing that it is going to work with, as well as it could be able to validate, right? So when I'm going to work in xmlvalidation.com in this website, ultimately it can be used. Okay, so ultimately the answer will be option A. So it is required when validating XML documents. So that's the idea behind this section, right? So that could be the quick recap on this. So the role where XSD had come into picture is we have found out some faults or some limitations. I could not able to use conventional data types what was given in my programming language in my XML program. So that's the reason why to overcome that DTD is being replaced using XSD. So that could be the idea. And moreover, when we are going to create XML as a, when we are going to use XML as a database in that place, XML schema will come into the picture. So that's the reason why when high-end applications are being transforming for this aspect, it would be a more useful one. Right. Today's session, that what we are going to discuss. It's about parsers. XML parsers are the parsers which are built in inside the browsers. Nowadays browsers, most of the browsers are having this feature, this XML parser. What is the purpose of this XML parser? That's what has been illustrated in this diagram, right? The XML document will be read by the XML parser ultimately, but how it can read it, what is the logic behind XML parser? In client application we must need some support to read that. Okay, for example, you are having an XML program, it is having a name, roll number, mobile number. I need to read only the data available within these tags: name, roll number, mobile number. I need to read data within these tags. In that case, who will support us? Right? So ultimately, XML program will be represented as a tree. Okay, represented as a tree. Even if we execute and see this in a browser, I could able to convey that. Even now I could able to show you, because if we are going to work virtually, it is very tough for us to uh, move forward. For example, uh, a sample program that will show you. See, just you could able to open a notepad. Here I am going to type a program. I am typing student. This could be my root tag, and I am going to. So might be the fonts will not be much more higher for you. Right? I use 36. Okay. So this could be the root tag student, and I'm using name. Okay. So I'll use my name. I'm closing the tag. Next, I'm going to use my roll number. We're using my roll number, and I'm closing that roll number tag, and I'm going to use my mobile number, and I'm going to give the data for that. So I'm going to close that tag, and I'm going to close that record. Okay. So this is a simple XML program. So how to save this? File, save as. So you could able to store it. So for example, for the convenience, I am going to store it in the desktop. Okay. So how to save this? As usual, within double quotes, because the default orientation for Notepad is text file. Otherwise, it will be saved as the text. Okay. So within double quotes, save it as one.xml. One.xml within double quotes. I have saving this. Save. So now I have saved the program. Close this Notepad. Go to the desktop. Right. So in desktop, you are having this XML file that has been mentioned as. Right click, open with. So it is going to show you some XML editors also, but advisable is try to open with a browser. Okay, and I will tell you, while you are going to work with the browsers, by default, it is good to work with the explorers, right? So even I could be able to use Internet Explorer, because when Microsoft products are going to work with that, it would be easier for us, because some of the proprietary sources for this program had been written in that way. So I'll directly open it in the browser instead of opening through the file. So I'm going to open this Microsoft Edge. So this Microsoft Edge is opening. Even I could execute in Chrome itself, but I'll tell you the reason why I am preferring Microsoft. ActiveX controls. These are all uh, completely built using VB once upon a time. Most of the browsers available nowadays from Microsoft background. So here I could able to choose it. Okay, so what could be the path of my file? So what could be the path? Right click, properties. So C:, users, admin, desktop. This could be my location. Copy, go there. paste it, slash 1.xml. Now you could able to see here, right? It has been generated as a tree. Okay. See this? It has generated as a tree. See, the tree representation will be mentioned by this. I could able to close like this. So to access only this content, to access only this data, for that, what I need to do? Pertaining to markup language, pertaining to any markup language, that whatever I need to work with, I need a scripting language to manipulate the data, right? So in internet programming, you might have come across JavaScript. In JavaScript, you have a concept called DOM or DOM, Document Object Model. So how can I represent, or how can I access this tree that has been given by so many built-in methods available in your document object model? The same DOM is available for XML also. So using that, we could able to extract the data. Ultimate use of XML parsers are not only to execute this file, not only to display this file, right? Even I could able to manipulate this data. I see, and I could be able to add one more field, for example, name, roll number, mobile number. I am going to add one more tag, for example, parent contact. That is also being possible. I could able to create a node also within the root node. That is also possible. I want to change my mobile number. So I want to update my mobile number. It is possible for me. Okay, I want to create one more record in the name of Ashok, cloning the record. I'll show you at the end of the class. That is also possible, right? So if I want to do anything with this document, I need a scripting language. So that scripting language can be used starting from JavaScript onwards. So they'll be supplying that. In that case, you have some built-in methods are available, built-in objects are available, built-in classes are available, right? Most of the context pertaining to Microsoft products, all these things are already created and they are stationary. Stationary means like our plugin, they are readily available in your browser. That's the thing, right? So if you want to create some more thing new on any in open source, any one context in open source, it will take time. So all these things are converted into ActiveX objects and has been placed inside our browser itself. So I won't use the term plugin here, ActiveX object, right? People who are familiar with the VB, they will come to know about that, right? So under the project control, I could able to see this ActiveX control. So I can create a permanent control. So like a drag and drop. For example, I could able to create a, for example, password box. That means a text box which will accept only passwords that will be hidden by some asterisks. That's all. So in that case, what are all the constraints that I'm going to keep? It has to come as 8 letters mandatorily. Special characters. These special characters are allowed. One capital letter must be there. One number must be there. So likewise, I could be able to post all my constraints and I will create and keep that control in my toolbox. That's all. So my job is either I could able to call that box using some class name or any object, or simply drag and drop into my design environment. From the design environment through that method could I able to call it. So all these features are being bundled in terms of the term ActiveX. That ActiveX is being available in our all Microsoft products as a built-in object. The same feature that we'll be able to emerge through JavaScript also. So I'll show you how to do that. So this could be a basic way of working with the XML program. See now how that program you got the output that should be done by this XML parser, as well as when it needs to extract data from this XML document, APIs will come into picture, right? So here we are going to discuss about this XML parser. So ultimately, I have explained this. So it could serve as an interface for client applications to work with the XML document. So how it is going to read the XML program, how it is going to create the way for the programs to use XML. Because here you are going to see some types of the different types of accessing the XML that you are going to see in the forthcoming slides. So that's an important thing that we are covering up in this class. Okay. So first one is DOM that already I have conveyed you. Second one is SAX. DOM, document object model. SAX is nothing but simple API for XML. So that is the idea. Simple API for XML. So document object model that we are going to see in today's session. SAX I will show you in the next session. Document object model, how it will work. Why? For doing the same task, why they have given two different things. What is the difference between DOM and the SAX? After learning DOM and SAX, you could able to convey which one is easier for you in terms of writing code as well as in terms of accessing a big data in a fast and spurious way. So these are all the types of XML parsers mentioned here. Okay, DOM and the SAX. But I'll give you a small work. People who are interested, you can travel in this journey. You can create a browser using Java Swing. Okay, Java Swing or Java AWT. Suggestible one is Java Swing. That means creating each and every canvas that you have to do. You can create a simple browser, web browser using Java Swing. Design a web browser. In that web browser, you can write your own parser, right? You can fix your own plugins. In that case, as a project, as a final year project, you could able to involve in this into. So people don't want to go across some IEEE papers and do some sort of research projects. You can choose this as a project that could work with the core, right? So you can create a web browser. In the web browser, you can create this parser. It's something like that you are going to work with a application software for general activity. Something interesting. So once you understand the type of XML parser, see what could be the logic for designing the parser. See, you have seen the example, the student example that what you have seen. Name, roll number, mobile number. So when they are going to give this tag, ultimately it need to generate like a tree in the front end as well as internally. Second thing, I need to identify the data using the child nodes. That's all. For example, student dot root node, name dot child node, the value available in that. So student dot name will give me Ashok. So student dot mobile number will give me that value. Student dot roll number will give me that value. So how to extract this value? That's what parser is going to do. Okay, how I am going to access each and every node in the tree. That is what parser is going to do. For that, you are going to write a program along with your browser program. That's it. So that's a very simple one, but you have something to work with interaction activities between browser and parser. So that's the major thing that you need to concentrate and do it. Students who are anyone interested to work on this, please ping me in private chat that I'll help you on this. Something interesting that you could able to design web browser and you could able to find more number of programs available in internet how to design a web browser using Java alone, right? Only Java alone. Java is having plenty of tools on that. So program will be readily available for web browser. But the thing is how to incorporate a parser within that will take time. Okay. So that's the thing that you can consolidate as a final project to move forward. So now we will travel in DOM. So a DOM, it is going to give us an object because all the scripting languages will work with based on objects only. So the tree structure that it will generate because based upon tree structure only it is going to work with. So this DOM parser is going to use its built-in API. Okay, it's implemented DOM API. So that represents for managing the tree, it is having this API. For managing the tree, we are having this API. That's all. So how to access the tree? I'll tell you in a data structure operations. That's enough. How to create a tree, how to insert data into the tree, how to delete data from the tree, how to update the tree values, in which order that you need to traverse the tree. That's all. This is what this API will capable of. When you are going to develop your own browser, you have to create this API. That's it. That will give you your parser. Okay. But you have to develop in an efficient way. When you are going to work with the DOM, you could be able to find out some of the limitations. Those limitations must be overcome when you are going to develop your own parser. And regarding SACs, right? So the difference between DOM and SACs, we don't have any internal structure. That means this parser will not generate any tree. Now you are going to understand the difference between DOM and SACs. It won't generate any such type of tree. Instead of that, what it will give you some list of built-in methods. When you are going to write the program, you have to write the corresponding content within that method and you have to override it. Right? It is like templates. Within that template only you have to write some generic programming that here you need to understand. Right? For example, you are going to do something with the characters. You have to write within that characters. You are going to do something within the elements, nothing but the tags. So you have to write within the method elements. So likewise, you are having some built-in methods will be there. Within that built-in methods, you have to write the corresponding logic. That's enough, right? That's enough. So method-based things are available in SACs, but when you are going to work with DOM, it is completely based on data structure. Okay, so that is the main difference between DOM and SACs. As well as when you are going to work with the SACs, you could feel the flavor of Java in SACs. Okay, because the API could be able to access its collections in JDK package in Java development environment. So that's the reason why it has been mentioned like it could be an event handler in Java. Right. So that's the idea on this. So what does an XML DOM will do? So that's what here we are going to talk about that. Here I have given you a simple HTML program that you could be able to see that. But I have not used any HTML tags here. For your understanding purpose, this program has been given. You have a table. The table consists of rows. Every row will consist of a record. Okay. So there are two rows are being mentioned, TR. So the tags are being mentioned for data A and B. In the first row you are having A and B. Second row you are having C and D. Right. So how it will be represented through your DOM? What does this XML DOM will do? If I'm going to give this program, what this XML DOM will do? See in the next screen. Right? It will generate this tree. So the root tag will have the next child tag rows. The rows will have two rows, TR rows. So first row will consist of that table data for A and B. Second row will consist of table data C and D. So if I am going to give this program, XML DOM will generate this tree. That is the basic idea of XML, the DOM parser, what it will do. Okay. Next level, if I need to access A in this tree, what I have to do? If I'm going to access B in this tree, what I have to do? That is what the thing that we are going to cover. Okay. So that's the ultimate idea. Please remember that if a program has been given like this, an XML program has been given like this, ultimately it will generate the tree like this. Okay. So this is a basic XML program that probably we will use the same program across the content. So there is a root node note. Subnodes are termed as to, from, body, to, from, body. So keep a note on this program because we are going to work with how to extract the data from this XML. We are going to see. Okay. So the data available are Sonu Aiswal at javatpoint.com, Vimal at javatpoint.com, and we have a body hello XML DOM. Okay. So these are all the content that I am going to retrieve from this XML. See this is the program. So what I am going to do with it? So if I need to use a scripting language, ultimately I have to store it as a HTML file only. Okay, so that's what I have given here. First section will talk up to the div tag. See that up to the div tag. So the purpose of that HTML section is just to formatting only, right? So what I have given in the previous program, the same tags I have used here, but it has been formatted. Okay, it has been formatted, and I have used some identifiers also from CSS regarding ID. Okay, so up to div tag, it's only about formatting. So forget about that. Our learning will start from the script tag. So after script tag, if you come across that, see that window dot window is an object. Okay, window is an object of the scripting language. Window is an object from the browser. Window dot XML HTTP request. So see here I want to introduce you programming aspect. See that in the if part you could able to see the code will run in all types of browsers. The else part you could able to see that line that will work only on IE6 and 5 because it is the ActiveX object. That's what I have conveyed you. Already XML related technology based contents are developed by Microsoft and being built in our IE. See, you could able to understand some of the contents are not working properly in some browsers. The reason is these types of ready-made contents being manufactured by the respective browser makers. That is a problem. Okay, so the if part will work in all these cases. So XML HTTP request, so that could be the ultimate window based object to access the contents of the XML data, right? Either first one will work or second one will work depending upon your content. Okay, so I'm going to access the XML document. By default is set as false. Okay, by default is set as false because so what it will ready to open. If it is not available, it is going to throw an exception. If node.xml is not available, it will throw an exception. To avoid that exception only, I have set it as false. So if it is not false means what will happen? I may convey that node.xml is available. You can open and do that. If it is not available, what will happen? Because browsers will not convey you errors while you are going to execute. Browsers will not convey you errors. Only it will pass. That is the reason why at the initial stage you have to set it as a false. As usual, get method that I am going to access. Get and post, that what you have learned in your web programming subject. Okay, I am sending request to that XML document. So in turn, the contents will be retrieved in the corresponding XML doc. It could be a array object. XML doc could be array object, or you could be able to convey it is like a list in your Python. That it is ready to store its response in the corresponding list. So whenever I am going to access the contents, it will ready to retrieve me. Okay. So now you could be able to see that this is the place where we are going to access the data structures, right? So document is the object. Again, document dot get element by ID. It is the built-in method for document. Element ID of within the tag I have given as 2, TO2, right? 2. It represents the ID. ID is nothing but I have given in the span tag. So in 2, what is the content available? I am referring inner.html. Into what is the content available? See this Sonu Aiswal at javadeeppoint.com. That is what available in that 2. So now I have referenced here left side variable. Now only I am going to extract a value. So XML doc, it is from response XML. Already it was communicated the XML dot get elements by tag name of 2 of 0. Of 0 means what it represents. It is ready to represent your node. Node is having now only one record. First record always starts with 0, like our array. Okay. Suppose if I'm having 2 records means second record will be mentioned for note as note of 1. So please remember that. Okay. So you're having that particular tag in that array, first record, first node and its value. That's what child nodes of 0 dot node dot value. All these are built-in keywords only. You don't have any rights to change this thing. You have to give as it is. And you could be able to see that the conventions are based on Java only. Method, second letter in that corresponding method is the capital letter one. Okay. second word in the corresponding method will be a capital letter one. So please understand that. So that is the idea to give this. So the same thing that you are going to repeat for from tag and subsequent tags. That's it. Okay. So that's what given in this. So how we are going to access, that is very important. So XML dot get elements by tag name. So corresponding array dot child nodes of 0 dot node dot value. So ultimately it will be retrieved and stored in it. So that's the complete segment on all these things. So for to tag you are having a line, for from tag you are having a line, for message tag you are having a line. All these data will be stored, and it will be available in the respective variable. So while I'm going to execute this XML DOM.html program, while I'm going to execute this, I will get this output. That's all. In this output, important note, the first one that come from our HTML program. See this H1 important note. To from message. These things are available from the corresponding bold tags. To from message, these words, but data is available from our Sono Aiswal at javatpoint.com, Vimal at javatpoint.com. Hello XML DOM is available from this section. Okay, so that is the main thing that I want to stress it upon on this. So this is a simple way. Remember the scripting section, formatting section, no need to worry about that. First I have to access the window object. Through that XML HTTP request will be called, could be accessed via that XML HTTP object. Again I have to open the file, send request to the file. Data will be stored in XML doc as an array of values. From XML doc I could able to access each and every node data. First I have to access the root tag by using get element by tag name. Next I have to access the child node using dot child nodes of that array name dot node value. Then I could able to access my corresponding entity, right? So remember the term. I want to classify two things here. Document dot get element by ID double quotes 2 dot inner HTML. This is the support completely provided by JavaScript alone. Okay, left side variables are completely provided by JavaScript alone. XML dot get element by tag name of the corresponding tag with 0 dot child nodes of 0 dot node value. This is the complete orientation provided by XML along with JavaScript. Okay, that's the thing that you need to know and understand here. Right. So here I have given this node.xml as a separate file in this program. Okay. Instead of that, I can give within the program itself. That is what I have given as a text. Right. Instead of an XML file, I have given as a text, a normal text. That was I have given over there. Check in the script section, txt1, txt2, txt3, txt4. Finally, I have performed string concatenation of all these and made as a text, simple text. That means, is it possible for me to work with a string alone, right? Instead of using a XML file, I'm going to use it alone as a string. So what does it mention? The DOM can work for any markup languages, as well as if I'm going to give any continuous strings, that is also it is ready to work with. That is what the two programs will differ about that. So the only place that where it will work is window.dom parser. You could able to see in the first line, window.dom parser. Okay, so this DOM parser will work for any languages. That's the feature of that, as well as not restricted to any particular language. It will work for any languages, as well as it will work for strings also. To demonstrate that only this program has been given. Okay, what I have given within the XML program, that has been given as a string here. So it will access the string, it will parse the string, and it will generate the output. The rest of the logics are same as the that. The support of XML and JavaScript, I could able to get the data, the same output, right? The same output, that what I am ready to work with, the previous one is being available here. Okay, and closing with this section that this is a simple program node.xml. I'm having a root tag company. 3 employee records are being available here under different category. 3 employee records are available, right? What I'm going to do, I have initially mentioned what the power of this XML DOM is. I could able to perform node cloning also. For example, you consider the first employee, Tanmay is the first name. Tanmay Patil, his contact number has been given, his email has been given. This XML is having only 3 records, but I could be able to create the 4th record. I am going to clone the first record. Okay, this is the scripting logic for my first record that I am going to clone. Okay, that I am going to clone. So how I am going to clone? The method which is available for cloning here is clone underscore node is equal to corresponding XML dot clone node of true. Only that method is enough. Only that method is enough. I am referring that rest of the contents are as it is. What are the contents that I want to reproduce from the XML file? I am going to reproduce. I am going to reproduce only the corresponding tags that what I have mentioned over there. First name, contact, the last name, contact, email. These are all the things. Using for loop, I am iterating and I am ready to print all the values which are available in the XML file. Because this XML file is having 3 records. Now I am going to display 4 records. How to iterate between one record to other record? I need a for loop that has been given over there. So by iterating, I could able to come over with that. This is the output. So see that Tanmay Patil record has been posted again here. 4th record that you could able to see that. Okay, so that could be the way of cloning the nodes. Okay, I could able to update my XML program also through this scripting. That's the power of XML DOM. So this is what the complete idea behind your DOM parser. Okay, so that's the thing. Time for discussion. Share your clarifications in the chat window.